All right. Gervonta Davis has been getting a bunch of criticism, and I've disagreed with a lot of it. But I'll tell you, there's a cat, Phil Magno, from, I think he writes for Fight Hype, that made a great point about the development of Gervonta Davis and whether or not his development is a lesser priority than him becoming a star. And I think there's some truth to it. But within that context, I think that this fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa was a good move and was a positive thing for his career. But let's talk about the criticism related to his development as a fighter in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, special thank you to everybody that supports the channel, that subscribes to the channel. You can join the channel by just clicking the button down here. Also, thank you so much to everybody that joins the Patreon. We have a lot of really good stuff coming up in 2020 on the Patreon. It's going to have a lot of content over there, so get ready for that content. And also, thank you to everybody that comes by our live streams that we do Monday through Friday, and especially the one on Sunday. OG Boxing Talk with myself, Blood, KQKC, Trap House, and my man, Curtis Anderson, the boxing historian. All right, so let's talk about this. There's been a lot of criticism about on Gervonta Davis, a lot of observations made about, you know, where people are basically saying that they didn't think that he performed that well in the fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa. A lot of things being said about him, Yuriorkis Gamboa having, you know, torn his ACL, or excuse me, not his ACL, but his Achilles tendon. Also, people saying that Gervonta Davis looked like he was out of shape, that he was winded, all kind of stuff like that, right? Now, I have had a hard time taking any of those criticisms, to be honest. The ones about the torn Achilles, okay, he tore an Achilles when he got knocked down. He got knocked down by Gervonta Davis. So for me, if he had a torn Achilles, that torn Achilles was caused by him getting knocked down by Gervonta Davis. So he fought with an injury that Gervonta Davis gave him. I don't see much of a difference between that type of injury and if, say, he broke his eye socket or he gave him a concussion, right? And his head never quite cleared. You know, that was something that was caused by Gervonta Davis. And Gervonta Davis went on ahead and won the fight. Same thing I would say goes for the idea that he was, you know, out of shape or out of condition. I mean, there was periods of time, like Gervonta Davis himself said, that he realized that Yuriorkis Gamboa was just, you know, he would hit Yuriorkis Gamboa and Gamboa just didn't go away. So he knew that he needed to pace himself. He needed to win rounds, you know, do what you need to do to win the fight. So, you know, that could have been part of it. But what this guy, Phil Magno, said in his article, and I invite you to read it because I thought it was an excellent article. It's on Fight Hype. And what he talks about in his article is the notion that Gervonta Davis, more important than the being out of shape or the injury, was that Gervonta Davis was facing somebody who fought in a different style than the people that he had been fighting previously. And he introduced the notion that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and the promotion, the Money Team promotion, that they've done an excellent job creating a phenomenon and the star power around Gervonta Davis, but had not been providing him the very type of opponents and different type of experiences necessary for him to develop as a full-fledged fighter. And in having the conversation, he talked about and used Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself as an example of that, and said at the same age that Gervonta Davis is now, which is 25 years old, Floyd Mayweather Jr. had already fought multiple people who were top tier fighters. He had already fought Gennaro Hernandez. He had already fought Angel Manfredi. He had fought a guy like that so many people underestimate, And according to Floyd, one of the toughest fights that he ever had against a guy, Emmanuel Burton. I don't know if it was Emmanuel Burton at the time that he fought him, but it was Emmanuel Augustus, a dude out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or at least he lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana now. It was called the Drunken Master. He also fought Diego Corrales, and I think he was just getting ready to fight Jose Luis Castillo, right? So if you look at all those people that he fought, those were very, very difficult fighters with different styles. Angel Manfredi was a smaller guy. Diego Corrales was like almost 6 foot tall, if he wasn't 6 foot tall. Super featherweight and a terrific come forward type of fighter. And of course, there's a Gennaro Hernandez, taller, longer, a guy, very, very good boxer. I don't want to act like I can really nail Gennaro Hernandez's fight style, because I haven't watched a fight with Gennaro Hernandez in it in a very, very long time. But he was, I think that was like maybe the 17th fight for Floyd Mayweather when he got into that. But see, before Floyd Mayweather Jr. became, the big attraction that he became, after the Arturo Gatti fight, and definitely after the Oscar De La Hoya fight, before he was Money Mayweather, he was Pretty Boy Floyd, and Pretty Boy Floyd was developed as a fighter. At the time that he was coming up, I was thinking that Floyd was like Aaron was trying to beat him or something, because he kept putting him in there with tough guy after tough guy after tough guy. You even had him before he went through the big streak of stardom. He had fought Sharmba Mitchell, veterans like Sharmba Mitchell and Demetrius Chop Chop Corley. Fought Ricky Hatton. Those guys are, I think maybe Ricky Hatton might have come after Oscar De La Hoya, but you get my point. There was, not only was he, did he become a very, very big fight, but a star, but which really happened after his 30 fights or so. Gervonta Davis is being marketed as a big star, and I think that they're doing, and the point of this article was that they're doing a terrific job with that. But, what have they done as far as giving him an opportunity to fight multiple types of fighters and improve his skills as he came along, right? I thought that was a very, very valid point by Phil Magno. Excellent article, excellent points, very fair, very informative and insightful article. I asked you guys to read it. It was a terrific article. My take on it is this, though, with slight difference in answering the question. I would put this Yuriorkis Gamboa as a piece of that puzzle, right? Yuriorkis Gamboa, there's nothing that you can't put the genie back in the bottle. I think that's the saying. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Once you're out there and your name is big and you've won a belt, people want to know who you're going to fight. They want you to fight certain people. And, there's an expectation of you having big fights. Your fights are big events. Gervonta Davis, after he beat Jose Pedraza, you really couldn't dial that back. You couldn't dial that back and take him back to the point where he is, where he's truly a prospect, because right now he is a champion. But so as far as the developmental fights, you got to do the developmental type of fights, while you're fighting for championships. And I thought that what they did with, and this is me looking, on the outside looking in, but what they did with Hugo Chavez, what they did with Fonseca, and they did with these guys, these kind of come forward, flat-footed, South American, kind of, not very heavy punching, but, and type of guys, you know what I'm talking about, was they gave Gervonta Davis a chance to mature outside the ring. With this fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa, I think that this was an opportunity for him to get his first real step up against a guy that was not going to be intimidated by him, somebody who was not going to be overwhelmed by the moment, somebody that, at least in his mind, remembers the time, and he might, if he didn't accept it, if he hadn't already accepted it, and he still had in his mind that he's, an Olympic gold medalist, this guy is somebody that had pride, this guy is somebody that has skill, this is somebody that had experience. This is the type of guy that Gervonta Davis needed to fight. Now, he probably needed to fight him before he got the belt, right? Before he got the belt. before a fight like this, before you get to a Jose Pedraza, before you're the IBF champion, before you're the WBA 130-pound champion, right? It would have been good if he could get those type of things. But like I said, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And this was a fighter that hopefully that did give Gervonta Davis a different look. He did give Gervonta Davis the experience of dealing with somebody that wasn't going to go away as soon as he got hit with a punch. It's unfortunate, though, that the injury did happen. Whether or not that was, like I said, Gervonta Davis caused the injury, but it's fortunate that it's unfortunate that occurred, the ankle injury or the foot injury, whatever. It's unfortunate that occurred, because it would have probably been even better for Gervonta Davis's development if Yuriorkis Gamboa was able to do a few more things in that ring and cause him and give him some more things to think about, because now he's learned that lesson and he moves on to the next fight. If he, it's up to him to learn from the experience. But if he does, that goes further along to developing him, like the author of the article, Phil Magno, said, not into just a star, but into a complete boxer. So, man, excellent article. I thought that was a terrific point that I wanted to share with you. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.